Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
Hi guys, Amber here with the Maple family, and today I am going to walk you through the game Lux Aeterna. This is a game I really enjoy playing solo. I've had a couple people ask me if I could do a quick kind of how to play of Lux Aeterna, and this will hopefully just allow you to see if this game would be a good fit for your gaming table. So let's get started. So in Lux Aeterna, we play the captain of a starship. Unfortunately, our starship is being sucked into a black hole, and our ship systems are failing. So let's go over how you win the game. There's two different ways you can win. One of them is if you have repaired 3 or more systems. The other option for winning and how the game ends immediately is if there are not enough cards in the main deck to draw your hand for your continuation of your turn. Now you lose and the game ends immediately if at least one of the following things happen. 4 of the systems have collapsed, or your starship has reached the black hole, or if you're playing with a real-time element and the timer has run down to 0, then you die, the game ends. Now I think the best way to get an idea of how Lux Aeterna works is to look at the cards themselves. So let's go over the different components of these cards, because we are going to have a hand of cards as we play Lux Aeterna, and we are going to need to assign them to different categories strategically to help our ship and to keep us from getting sucked into the black hole. So the first thing we're going to see here is just some thematic text. Read it, don't read it, it's totally up to you, but that's what this white text here is all about. In the upper right-hand corner where the lightning bolt is, signifies an event. Basically, this is the die that is going to take damage, or the system that's going to take damage. The way we know what system to apply this damage to is you can see this card is yellow, but you can also refer to this corner up here where it says POW05. That's going to correlate to your system card here. Next, in the lower left-hand corner is our speed. This is what is going to move us closer to the black hole. So for this example, it says to move 1 closer to the black hole. And lastly, we have our action item. This basically tells us what action to take during our turn. This card here says, add 1 to a dice. So we can determine what die needs that additional boost. As you can see, this is a pretty hefty deck. I do have my card sleeves, so that does help with some of the bulk, but all of these cards are going to match our system colors here. And again, the biggest reason for that is for the damage that these systems will take if we choose to use that specific color or system damage card. So now that we understand basically how the card is laid out and the different event, action, and speed categories on the card, let's move on to setting up to play our first game. So as you can see, we have 6 different systems. We have blue, pink, gray, yellow, orange, and green. Each of these systems is going to have 5 different cards that are different for that specific color or system. You can go ahead and just randomly pick one, and we're actually just going to leave them horizontal. Now, as these cards become fixed or they become destroyed, we will turn the card vertical. So if the card is fixed or the system is fixed, it will come to the colored side. Typically, this will have text on it that is going to benefit us. If the system is destroyed, it will go vertical with the black side of the card upwards. This is going to have some type of catastrophic event on it. So we want to try to keep our ships functioning, our systems functioning, if at all possible. Now, as you can see, there's a space on each system for a die. We're going to go ahead and take the matching die, place it to the value of 2, and put that on the matching system. The other thing you're going to want to do is set up your black hole. So we have 2 markers here. One of the markers we're going to use to move our spaceship closer to the black hole. The other marker is actually going to stay put, and you will see on this card it has plus and a number value. So depending on how close you start to the black hole depends on how many points you're gonna get for the end of the game scoring. So for your first game, they actually recommend you start on the +5 space, meaning that if you don't get sucked into the black hole and you win the game, you will get 5 points for this black hole card. So the way you want to think about the black hole scoring is you're basically saying, how close can I get myself to the black hole in the beginning of the game to secure that higher point value. So hopefully that helps kind of wrap your brain around how that works, but this basically, wherever you start, is how many points you can secure yourself at the end of the game. So here we're gonna have our console card. So this is just a really nice, I think like a player aid, you can think of it as, where you're gonna actually place your cards around this. So for instance, if I place this card in the event section, that's gonna signify that I wanna use this portion of that card. If I place this one here, I'm saying that I want to use the action portion of this card. And if I place this one here, I am saying I want to use the speed portion of this card. So we're going to want to have this green side face up. Now it's time to compose our deck. So this is a huge part of the gameplay here. So we're going to want to shuffle these the best we can. And you're going to want to remove 8 cards at random. These can go back to the box. They will not be used. These cards that are all red are our glitch cards. Now you're gonna wanna go ahead and find this special glitch card that is titled and you can set that out of the game for now. We're gonna go ahead and select 4 of these glitch cards and keep them face down. The other 2 can go back to the box. Now we're going to take our deck of cards and we're going to go ahead and split this into 4 sections. And basically what we're trying to do is evenly distribute these glitch cards throughout the deck. We're going to take these 3 piles and we're just going to shuffle them together to hopefully distribute these glitch cards . We're gonna put that 4th pile on top. Now we have our draw deck ready to go. So basically that just helps you get a little bit of momentum in the game without being hit and bombarded with all of those glitches right up front. At this point, if you wanted to use your phone or Apple Watch to set up a timer, they recommend 10 minutes for hard and 15 minutes for easy. I personally do not play it real time, but that is definitely something you can do if you want to up the difficulty of Lux Aeterna. So Lux Aeterna does come with this really great player aid, and it basically goes through the turn sequence of the game. And on the other side is some great iconography to help you understand the action components of the cards. I find these are super simple to understand, so I don't think you're gonna have any issues, but it is here if you need it. So let's go over what a turn is gonna look like in Lux Aeterna. So we're gonna draw our first 4 cards. Now keep in mind that if you were to draw any glitches, you would want to resolve those immediately in the order you drew them. You'll either then remove them from the game or add them to your tableau if the card states to do so. You'll then draw replacement cards for each glitch drawn, so regardless, you should have 4 cards in your hand. Now we're gonna assign our cards. So basically we wanna look at our cards and we want to assign 1 to the event, which if you remember is one of our systems taking damage, 1 to the action, which is the text at the bottom, and 1 to the speed, which is going to pull our ship closer to the black hole. So I'll go ahead and do this now real quick. Once we've assigned all of our cards to a category, which I forgot to mention, there is a cash category here. Basically, what this allows me to do is reserve this card for my next round. So whatever card I place in this bottom area, I can add to my hand next round, but it's completely ignored for this round. So now we're just gonna resolve in order, and we're gonna start with the event. So because I played this orange 1 lightning bolt, my orange system is gonna take 1 damage. So it's gonna drop from 2 to 1. That has now been resolved, so I can discard that over here. Now, my action for this round was to search the deck and remove the first glitch I come across. So I'm gonna fan through the deck, and I am trying to find that first glitch card, and here it is, and I get to remove this from the game. And we'll discard that one. Lastly, I played this card to speed because it only pushes me 1 to the black hole. So I will move my ship 1 closer to the black hole, and this will be discarded. Remember, as soon as your ship reaches the black hole, game over. That is one of the end game factors. So keep a close eye on that. It happens quickly. Now, of course, we're just starting the game, but you're always going to want to check to make sure that you can draw your next hand of 4 cards. If for some reason you can't draw your next hand of cards, then you win the game as long as 4 of your systems haven't failed and you're not in the black hole. Gameplay will continue just like this. You're gonna draw another hand of 4 cards, but remember this time you have that card you saved from last round that you're gonna add to your hand. So now, instead of 4 cards, I'm actually looking at 5. And I'm gonna have to discard one of these cards because I only have enough to save 4 cards or utilize 4 cards each turn. So as you can see here, I've assigned my 4 cards and I am gonna discard this one, and I won't be able to use this round or next round. So now that we've gone over the turn sequence, let's go ahead and talk about the systems and what happens when they collapse and when they're repaired. So a system will collapse when the die amount goes below 1. Once that happens, you'll remove this die off of the card and turn it to the collapsed side of the card. This is the side with the black background. You're gonna read the text and do whatever it says right then and there. Remember, once 4 systems have collapsed, it's game over. On the other hand, if you're able to get your die past 6, which means it needs to be 7 or more, your system is repaired. You will also take the die off of the system, but you'll turn it to the colored side facing up. You will also read that text and do what it says. The other component we need to talk about are these glitches. Remember, when we set up the game, we will seed the deck with 4 different glitches. Once we draw these, we need to apply their effects immediately. Some actions allow you to fetch and remove glitches, including the glitch. In regards to the glitch, you only shuffle this into the main deck when certain systems collapse. And these systems will tell you to do so once they collapse. If you do draw the glitch during gameplay, you must choose and apply 2 of its effects. Set it aside for end of game scoring if you choose the -10-point option. I'm telling you, these glitches are a bummer. Let's talk about scoring. Assuming you haven't been sucked into the black hole, you're gonna score 1 point for each system still under repair, or a system with a dice on it. So for here, this blue one would give me 1 point. You're gonna add 7 points for each operational system. So here, my pink, yellow, and gray are all operational. You're then gonna add the starting position marker square points. So for this scenario, it was +5 points. Now, if any of the glitches, like the glitch we talked about, gave you negative points, you're gonna have to account for those as well. You're gonna add up these 4 elements to find out your final score. And that is how you play Lux Aeterna. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you wouldn't mind, I would love to have you subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you are enjoying making memories intentionally around your board game table.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.